So lately, there are so many visa refusals happening, not only in the UK, but also Canada and Australia and New Zealand. So today I'm going to cover all the visa refusal reasons, but I'm not going to talk. I have got an expert, Victor, and he's going to talk about the common reasons for all the visa categories and what you should be doing and how you can avoid those visa rejections. So without any further delay, let me invite Victor now. Hi, Victor. Welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy once again.
Thank you very much, Sarika. It's again a pleasure to be on this platform.
Thank you very much. So, Victor, lately there are so many students who had been reaching out to me, not only students, also for people who are applying for any kind of visa. So there are a lot of visa refusals happening, whether it's UK, whether it's Australia or Canada. So I wanted to bring here so that you can share from your expertise what are the top few reasons why visas are being rejected so that people can benefit from it and they don't repeat those mistakes. So if you are comfortable, can we discuss some of the top reasons why visas are being rejected?
Definitely, Sarika. That's a very, very important topic. And thanks for bringing this topic for our audience, because a lot of, we can connect with the mass with this. A lot of students, a lot of visitors, they apply for a visa and their dream gets shattered as soon as they find out, oh, my visa is refused. So first of all, I would like to say here, it's when we apply for a visa, it is not a lottery. It's not a luck by chance. So don't keep your application open-ended. Your application has to cover a few things. So basically, to start with, when you apply for a temporary entry visa, it means visitor visa, student visa. These are the basic visas which fall into, or work visa even, they fall into temporary entry visas. So the major rejection which we have established and which we have discovered in more than a decade of practice, that first of all, the problem is the file presentation. A lot of applicants or their agents, if they are not trained, if they are not licensed, they tend to provide as much information as possible. And sometimes they provide excess information, which is irrelevant, which is not supporting the purpose for which the visa has been applied. And the genuine intentions are missing from the application. So if I talk about a visitor visa application briefly.
Before we move to the next part of this video, I want to introduce you to Ileero. Ileero Remit is a remittance company that enables business and individuals to send easily money from the UK to Asia and African countries like India, Nigeria, Pakistan, Kenya, Bangladesh, Ghana. What I like about the app is that you also get to earn passively while using the app. Using Ileero Remit, you can earn more than £100 in a month just by referring your friends. Number one, if you have not signed up on the app yet, download and sign up using my referral code KBuddy and you will get £2.99 discount off your first transfer. Number two, when you refer a friend to use the app once, you get £11. So let's see how to refer and earn on Ileero Remit. Step one, open the Ileero Remit app, then click on the promotions button on the menu bar. Step 2. Simply click on the share button or copy your referral code to share with your friend. Step 3. Once the person you referred uses the app to transact, you did start seeing your earnings on the app. Step 4. To track your earnings and number of referrals you have made, click on the View Your Stats button. Step 5. Your total earnings at the end of the month will be deposited into your bank account. So go and check out now Ileero and make sure you start referring and start earning as well.
If you are applying for a visitor visa, it is a temporary entry visa. It means your travel plans has to be clear and the financial capacity has to be clear. And the reason why would you go back to your country? So basically these are termed as social ties, occupational ties, and your family ties with your home country. A lot of people, they fail to explain that. They believe that if we have money in the account, then the countries are looking for us and they will invite us. So, but this is not the real story. Immigration will look at those applications that if you have entered in the country once, what are the other rights or what you're going to do in the country? If your travel plans are not clear, it means that you might be, or you are highly likely you will become illegal. You don't even know where to go, what to do, what are the activities I'm going to do. And at the end of the day, your funding. You should be able to claim that you have sufficient funds to do your stated purpose as planned in the visa applications. And another big reason which we have seen is the duration of the visa. A lot of people, they make a mistake that if they have a family member who is supporting them from an overseas country, they put a visa duration which is unrealistic, say sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months. Then immigration officers, they refuse their visa by saying, how you're going to be away from your normal work and your normal life for 3 months or 6 months? It doesn't make sense. It means you have no intentions of going back to your home country. Does it make sense, Sarika?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
I've covered visitors, so now I'm going to move towards the student visa applications. Yeah. In student visa application, there is a term which is always used, which is called bona fide. And bona fide means genuine. So if you are applying for a student visa, there are few things to keep in mind. And number one thing is that your application, you should include a statement of purpose with the application in which you are explaining your background and possibility of career progression. It means if you're investing a huge amount of money on your education in overseas country, how did you come to that conclusion that you need that particular qualification? So it has to make sense. Again, the financial ability is a biggie. You have to explain that why can't you do the similar sort of a program in your home country where it could be a way cheaper. So you need to show return on investment, basically, that if you are investing a huge amount of money in your overseas education, the first thing is you have access to that sort of money. Second thing is what you're gonna get out of that investment. So that's called return on investment. A clear career planning has to be provided in the application. And then the next thing, which is very important, is your English ability and your financial ability. Again, your resources of funds, every country has different approach. If you talk about UK, they just want to see your funds are more than 28 days old. They don't really care from where the money comes from. If you talk about Australia, you pay 6-month fees, you show your funds from even a relative, you can still get the visa. If you talk about Canada, you're already paying the fees, you're already paying the living cost, so they don't really care about your source of funds because it's already paid. And if you talk about New Zealand, because you're paying all the money after the visa approval, so they are pretty much interested in knowing from where suddenly money has appeared in your bank account and the income of the sponsor. So if somebody is sponsoring you, do they have genuine sources of income, or suddenly you have borrowed money from someone and you will be under a tremendous financial pressure when you are in the country? So those are the grounds on which they generally refuse. And a lot of people, a lot of students, they fail to explain the potential of that particular course which they're going to study, the potential of that course in their home country. It means how they're going to give them improved employment prospects in their home country. So if they can explain that, if it's a clear-cut, straightforward explanation that I'm going to do a business, or I'm going to be a self-employed person, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, or I'm going to find job in these sectors. So those are the things which have to be kept in mind when we apply for a student visa.
Thank you.
So another category, Sarika, is a work visa. If somebody is applying for a work visa application, they need to show genuine intentions. They need to show relevance with the job opportunity which they have achieved. Like at the moment, we are doing a lot of job applications for Australia as well as for New Zealand, because employers have been given a pathway, accredited employer work visa, which is again a temporary class visa. So what's happening in this category is employers are like advertising in the home country, like in New Zealand or Australia. If they can't find a suitably qualified person to work for them, then immigration is allowing them to look overseas, look broad, go overseas, find people and bring them here. Again, that's a temporary class visa. And reason for refusals could be if the job is offered to a person who doesn't have right skills to do that particular job. So all those things have to be kept in mind, basically, when we are giving a temporary visa application in the system and expecting a positive visa decision.
Okay, thank you. Can you give some examples of more recent or repetitive mistakes that people are making in student visa?
The most common mistake in the student visa is the plagiarism. It means they are copying SOPs, or they are not providing, like when they copy SOP, that SOP is beyond their English language skills. So if somebody is scoring English level, like if they are scoring 6 bands or 6.5 bands, then don't make a mistake of going online and on the Google and trying to pick up a SOP which carry a really heavy words of English, which you generally don't use in your normal communication. Immigration officers, they are trained to look at the SOP and they compare with your English level skills. So if they are not in line, it means your English level, which your IELTS or PT is showing is 6 bands, but your SOP looks like it's 8 band SOP. Then words are used which cannot be expected from a 6 band student. Then they straight away realize that this SOP is not yours. It means you have no control over it. And the biggest mistake, if an embassy calls or an immigration officer calls for a visa interview, they want to gauge the intentions of the applicant. So in that intention, they want to see the research undertaken. That's a very, very big matter in the SOPs and the student visa. That's the backbone of a student visa. So immigration officers, they need to find out, or they wish to find out, what do you know about your proposed program? What do you know about how did you choose the country? How did you choose the program? How did you choose the college? What comparisons you made? And so basically, it should not be a sudden decision. Like today in the morning, I woke up from the other side of the bed. I want to go to Canada. And yesterday, I was planning to go to Australia. It should not be like that. There has to be some comparison. What have you considered? Did you consider the reputation of the institution? Did you consider or compare the fee structure of the college? Did you compare the course offered by the college? Or what was the criteria for your decision? And again, the financial ability is also a very major thing. Again, a very big mistake which we generally see from Indian students in the student visa application is trying to cover it, like when they try to cover the gap by providing a fake document. Guys, please do not provide any fake document, because that can be the end of your road to a study abroad destination. Say, for example, you have a 2-year gap. So if someone suggests you, go and get a fake diploma, or go and talk to your uncle, and that uncle owns a small business, and uncle will show that you were working in his shop or in his organization or a factory or whatever. So those things can create a huge problem for you. And if you will be caught, then you will be banned from the country and you will be treated as inadmissible for up to 5 years. So it's not worth taking the chance. So my recommendation is, if you have a gap, that's perfectly acceptable. Sarika, you'll be amazed. We got visas for people. A lady was there who has done 12th class and after that working for 10 years. And she didn't have bachelor's degree, but we got her into master's degree, got her admission, got her visa without any trouble. We have handled a lot of cases where people were getting paid in cash and their employers wouldn't pay them in the bank account. So we managed to get those approvals as well. So recommendation, and the high recommendation is, never ever try to lie in the application, because if you're lying in the application, there is no going back. So once you have provided a fake document, then basically if you're caught, you're gone. And whenever you apply for a different country, second country or third country, you need to declare. And every country is interested in knowing what was your conduct in the previous application. So if you have provided a fake documentation, it means your intention or your character is questionable.
Yeah, okay.
Hope this helps.
Yes, it does. Thanks, Victor. One question. This is a common question which I get from students. So generally, they don't have those funds. Yeah, it's parents have it. So the question is, can they use a joint account? And the second question is, if they have money in fixed deposit, can they show that as evidence?
Definitely, Sarika. So basically, if a student is applying for a student visa, his parents or her parents are totally acceptable sponsors. Again, every country has different options. Some countries, they allow funds from relatives like aunt, uncles, and but some countries, they prefer funds to be in the immediate family. So it means parents and siblings and grandparents. So if those funds are there in the family, and if they're accessible by the student for their education, that's perfectly acceptable. And if you're showing a fixed deposit, you need to show genuine intentions to break that FD and use for your education. If you are showing a recent FD, which you have just got done a month ago or 15 days ago before the visa application, that's a big suspicion that first of all, from where you got the money from. And second is how you're going to sustain, how you're going to pay the expenses if you have fixed that money for 1 year or 6 months. So what was the need to do FD? So if a FD is old, then it's always a good idea to show a letter or to provide a certificate from the bank stating when that FD was done. It means the date of issue of the FD. And second is the current value of the FD. And third thing is what's the maturity value of the FD. That's a set template which every bank provides. It's system generated. And another thing which is very important in the terms of showing fixed deposit for funding education trip is explaining that FD is not, there is no loan on the FD. Basically, it's not lien and mark. It means you didn't give that FD to someone or to the bank and taken a FD OD, overdraft on the FD. So banks, immigration officers are really concerned about those things. So if you are providing a FD, provide that FD can immediately be broken and the funds can be transferred into the savings bank account.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victor. This was very useful. And so for everyone who's watching this video, if you guys got any question regarding any types of visa that Victor covered today, and if at all your visa was refused in the past, if you want to talk about more or if you need any help, you can email on the link which is provided in my video description, and also you can leave your comments below. Thank you for watching this video, guys, till the end. And thank you for Victor for coming on my channel and recording this video. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sarika. It's always been a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.